Welcome back to another Workshop Wednesday. Today's topic is so fun. It's whose table are you sitting at? And if you are a faithful follower, which we have so many of those, we're a little late because we were sitting at a clubhouse table for a little long because our room was full, but we are here, faithful, better late than never. Welcome, Jana. How are you?
Doing amazing. So glad to be here. And thank you guys for holding down the fort. As you know, I've been a little East Coast, West Coast, and it's just been crazy. But lots of information to share. A lot of things have been happening. So we can't wait to connect and debrief with you guys.
Yes, we are so glad to have you back because every time you go somewhere, you come back and you just pour out so much knowledge of all the things that you soaked up from. And it's so important as a staging business owner, a designer, interior designer, redesigner, or just any business owner that you are going and sitting at specific tables. And so Jana, just in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks-ish, has been back to back sitting at different people's tables. She's sitting at GrowthCon. Congratulations for speaking on stage at 10X GrowthCon. That's huge. Then you got a certification through a GC licensee, and then masterminding with the one and only Sharon Lecter, who happens to be our keynote speaker for our national summit this year. So get your tickets. You better get them now before the prices go up. mysummitticket.com. They'll put it right here for you. But Jana, talk to us about the importance of sitting at tables.
Oh, yes, it is. It's having a seat at the table. And I think it's a really good reminder for us all who is in our ear, right? Can't we all remember back possibly to our childhood, and then everybody's doing their thing, school and work, and then you come back and mom's possibly has cooked a roast beef and she's cooked a stew or she's cooked something, and you're sitting down and that's the time to just connect. And for a lot of us, that the table has moved to the sofa, the kids are everywhere, right? Life is full of phases. But what we have to remember is that analogy of being at the table, whether it's breakfast or dinner. You've got to know that when you're at a table, people are talking, they're conversing, they're bringing their problems, they're bringing their solutions, they're laughing, they're crying, they're frustrated, whatever, all the high emotions at a normal table. You've got to now ask yourself, what table am I at? Where am I placing myself? And who else has a seat at the table that I'm allowing in my ear and allowing to impact my world, my attitude? And is it a good thing or is it a bad thing, right? So we always have to assess our seat at what table and who else is at that table.
Right, because you've said many times in the last year or so how a lot of times you place yourself at a table that maybe you're not qualified to be at yet, so that you ask those questions. And that's very courageous of you to do that, to step out of your comfort zone and not want to be the person who knows everything. We don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And so I love that. So let's start with GrowthCon. Going to 10X GrowthCon, this is what, your third or fourth year, I think, going?
Yeah, it was our four, I think, four. So it might have been 3. I don't know. I've lost count because all of the events that we've been at when it comes to GC 10X events, it's been now a good 20 plus. But GrowthCon's probably our third one. And Laurie, you're one that's like, you're going to be on stage one day. You speak life, right? You like speak big things, even things that I can't see. And for that to happen, number one, to be in the audience, just to be at the table was such an honor. All the work that everybody put to being in that room and all the obstacles, but then to have an opportunity to get a seat on stage was more that I could ask or think, for sure.
A little bit scary, I would assume. Just, that's a big, big platform. A lot of us, we want to be at speak at a conference or whatever, but at GrowthCon, a little scary. However, I love what you had to say from the stage. I love that you stood up for the home staging industry from the stage, right? And so, what were your big takeaways from GrowthCon?
Yeah, big takeaways. So many, right? I mean, 3-day event from sun up to sundown because we had invested. That's another thing. Where is your seat at the table? Sometimes you're at the kids' table. You're like, I'm in the room, right? I'm in the back. That's okay. You're at least in the room. But for us, we then moved from the back of the room to the front of the room and invested in the largest, the $7,000+ tickets that ended up selling for 20 by the time you got closer to the event. And so we wanted to be power of proximity. We wanted to be closer to the stage because we knew the people that were super serious about investing to be closer, then they just had it's a different presence, right? It's just a different level of people that you can talk with. Not that they're more important than anybody in the room. It's just that power of association. So for us, the takeaways, my absolute favorite speaker from, right, Donald Trump, which was a powerhouse when it came to talking business and real estate. Forget the politics. We could all agree this guy is a businessman. He's a genius when it comes to just the investments and seeing opportunities and those type things. So that's really 90% of what he shared. So absolutely enjoyed, whether people loved him or had no care for him. We all could agree on one thing. He was a dynamic speaker and he brought the knowledge, and everybody had takeaways from the life experiences that he shared about. So from him, to Rick Ross, to the billionaires that were brought in from business, to, owners of franchises and restaurant chains and, all of these things. My absolute favorite speaker is Grant. Grant always brings it. And you guys get to hear him like weekly in our mastermind, our real estate mastermind, and how ridiculous he gets. Like everybody's a child at heart. But when he's on stage and he is on, the knowledge that flows from him because of his 40+ years of experience, right? It's like he is just an open book. And so my big takeaways from him is do it afraid. Never put yourself, don't worry about fear of failure. Always say yes to opportunity. Quit thinking small. It's just that continuous mindset. You don't want to be at the same kitchen table. You don't want to be at the same dining table that you were 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You want to change. The table needs to change. It needs to be upgraded. You need to be the dumbest person at the table. If you're the smartest person, you need a new table. So this Sunrock event that we're all going to, and that we just got off of Clubhouse talking about, the last year I went, I didn't know one single person in the room of hundreds of real estate multifamily investors. I knew 2 people, and that was 2 speakers. I knew Grant and I knew Pete Vargas, and that was it. Like I knew no one. Now we're going to bring 10+ people, but when it comes to our core, plus those that we already have real estate relationships with in the multifamily part of Grant's group that didn't know about Brad, there will definitely be. So here's the thing. You bring people to different tables as well. Not only do you go to different tables, but you bring them. So hearing Grant and my takeaways from GrowthCon of continuously thinking bigger, continuously doing things afraid. This pushes us into more, whatever you want to call it, success, opportunity, whatever than we would ever have if we were just stuck, fearful, and stagnant. Nobody wants to be there. No one wants to be there, but most of us are there.
Okay, well that spurs on a question. I have my pencil, I'm writing stuff down. So Jana, owning one of the largest staging companies in the nation for 20 years, having multiple properties, multiple businesses, how do home staging and redesign companies think bigger going into this year where we're at now? How do they do it?
Yeah. Well, you have to see your business as a true business and not a hobby. And a true business can run without the business owner. And I'll say that again, Laurie. A true business can run without the business owner. And most people are not there. I was not there. It took me a good, I don't know, 13 to 15 years of trying to get myself out of the business. I first had to unstick from my business. I couldn't let my business define who I am. And so I think that the biggest thing that people in our industry when it comes to staging, design, real estate is not letting their business define who they are, seeing the business as an ecosystem that they are a CEO of and that they are an investor in. You're an investor in your business. So you've got to now keep investing people and resources into that business. I think that the businesses that stay stuck are the ones that they're fearful. You know, we heard this from one of our affiliate partners 2 days ago. He said, I'm seeing hesitancy. I'm seeing fear in the staging industry. I'm seeing people afraid to move. They may be a little busy, but they're uncertain. And the only reason that we get that way is because we're not growing to a capacity of understanding what our clients' new needs are. So for us, we've shifted into short-term rental. We built our own book of business in short-term rental. We're building our own business in as an investor into real estate that we're staging for ourselves. How cool is that? We're not just serving the business, we are becoming the business. And yes, we're still staging, but we're doing a lot more occupieds. We're doing different projects that we're helping people with that need furniture. So that's really the companies that stay current and move forward are the ones that don't stay stuck and are the ones that can run without the business owner. So that's why HSR exists. We want to help people create a business that can run without them, with the systems, the processes. That's it, guys. I mean, we don't want our business totally dependent on us, because then that's certainty for death. That's certainty that it only has a limited time to exist. Wouldn't we rather create a business that we could sell or merge or create passive income for it, and that we now go open a new business or we do our passion somewhere else and that continues to generate revenue? That is the key to success today.
That's so good. And I'm so glad you went through that, because I was thinking, if you stay in your business, if you stay stuck to your business, you're never going to grow. As a person, as a business, you're never going to have that opportunity to find that next thing, because life is a journey. We're not just called to one place to just stick there and stay there the whole time. It's a journey. It's an excitement. It's something new and fresh every day. So I love that. And you wouldn't have become unstuck had you not got involved in, the training with Grant Cardone that I have seen over the last 3 years. That has been a great, great aid to you, which has ultimately led to you to become a Grant Cardone coach, right? And so that was what your certificate or your certification was. That was the second event, the second table you sat at. So tell us a little bit about that. I saw you on their promo video. I was so proud. I was sharing it everywhere. It's so amazing to see. I know you're definitely not one to want accolades or anything like that, but you put in so much hard work and it's so good to see the reward come. So tell us a little bit about the certification.
Well, I would even back up to our real estate license and really going through the 180 hours that I did for the last couple of months here. And then also that the knowledge in there that, understanding that this is our industry, right? We're part of the real estate industry, and we have to understand what the duties and the obligations are for, excuse me, for all of the realtors that we work with and the investors, and understanding, contracts, and understanding that the again, the clients and customers, and all of the things that we are providing. There's so much knowledge there, like that allows us to become that expert. And so now when we went into our Grant Cardone licensee certification program, we literally were hundreds of hours of study in that, and consuming all of his 20-30 years of information from sales and marketing and a growing team and wealth and real estate, just all of the things that the resources that we have access to. So that was a good over 100 hours of study that we did, and that allowed me to go into out of 200 plus of us, there was about 45 of us that went through that certification and did all the prerequisites. And then we were able to sit with Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn and go over stages, go over, coaching, going over training. And we now get to be an extension of the Grant Cardone team when it comes to all of the people that they coach. So the certification there, and we've actually gone through, you've been part of these meetings, Miss Laurie, on signature talk and getting on stages and really going into what our superpowers are with our Excel team and our Excel members within a HSRA, our affiliate partners, and done some deep work study on really coining that phrase and how that can be the theme of who we are as business owners and people. It can also be the theme of our businesses on who we are, what we do, what we provide for who, to, help them overcome, or for people that struggle with, right? So just working on the deep work of getting clear on our mission, vision for not only business, but for our personal lives, and what that looks like as a coach. So we've been coaching for years and years and years, but this is just another level that now, with the information that we have, helps us be better coaches and trainers, HSRA be better within our own industry, because we understand it in multifaceted ways, no matter what industry it is. So much knowledge there. And we absolutely just love the opportunity to be an extension of their team.
Yes, so good. And it's because you sat at those tables as the person who was not the smartest, right? You were courageous. You raised your little hand, like, okay, don't roll your eyes at me when I ask this question, or how we always say, this might be a stupid question, but don't be afraid to do that, because look where it has led you. And then not only you, right? You mentioned this a little bit, is the Grant Cardone licensee, the training, we make that available to our Excel members. And so now they are reaping the benefits of you sitting at certain tables, right? For a much lower cost than if they were to go through and spend all the money that you've already spent in your licensee. And that's just amazing, right? That's such a great opportunity. And it's a blessing to be able to do that for our industry, and to really see one person just off the top of my head that I have seen exponentially grow since all of this started in our Excel membership is Kim Dombrowski, Impressive Home Staging. So hopefully she sees this. Our girls give her a shout out here, but she is just so amazing. And I have seen so much growth in her and her company. And it's just been so fantastic to see that. But it's because people are willing to learn. She wanted to come and sit at our table, at our mastermind. She wanted to sit at our table by being a member and then upgrading her membership to an Excel membership. So get in those rooms and those tables, which ultimately led you to being at, I can't even believe that it happened, that you were at Sharon Lecter's mastermind. I'm so excited that you got to go to that. No internet for you for a couple of days. You literally had to just be there and be present. And talking about running your business without you, nothing's worse than being a business owner and not having access, right? Because you want that control and you're like freaking out. But most times you'll be pleasantly surprised to know that your team handled it because you're a great leader and you made sure that you trained them. So tell us a little bit about the Sharon Lecter Mastermind and your takeaways of that.
Yes. Well, this again, you get the accolades for this. You saw that it was coming up. You're like, Jana, you need to do whatever you can to be there. And I'm like thinking, I'm too busy. I'm traveling and coming off of one event, and then we were about to go on vacation. I was like, I don't even know that I could logistically make this happen. So, and I thought, well, if we go, Tim needs to be with me, and my husband having his own business, and so I think that together as a couple to be able to experience something like that was definitely a huge win. He had so many takeaways. And for Sharon, if you guys don't know who Sharon is, Sharon Lecter has written 3 Feet from Gold. She is, co-author of all the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the whole intellectual property there. When it comes to Outwitting the Devil, when bringing that book to life, Think and Grow Rich for Women. There's just been so many incredible books and resources that she's created over her years. But even the wealth of knowledge she is in sitting and having, breaking bread with them, being able to ride horses, and her driving us, in her Ranger, if you guys know what a Ranger is, like a big 4-wheeler, like through the waters and in the desert. It was unbelievable experience. And her husband Michael is an intellectual property attorney, and so they were just talking about, okay, what have you guys created? My big takeaway: what have you created? What have you created? What have we all created that is intellectual property, that is something that is different, new, fresh, that we have put into play that is successful? It's a model to follow. It's something. And so looking back at things that we had developed over our years in Model My Home and HSRA, and saying, where is the source of what problem this solves and how we can refresh, rebirth. So that was a really big takeaway to me, is understanding that everyone has intellectual property. Everyone has something that is new, fresh, a problem that they solve. And so really going through that work with them and her staff, and being so intimate, there was only like 7 of us and her staff, was just such a huge benefit to really the masterminding, getting put on hot seats, and what does your 1, 3 to 5 year plan look like? What is your short game? What is your long game? How are the 6 F's, right? So you guys can write this down. And Laurie, you can help me remember, but it's faith, right? Leveling up on your faith, leveling up on your fitness, leveling up on your finances, leveling up on your friends and the fun in your life. And then, of course, your the other F is your, it really means your business, right? Like it's what you're doing. And I love this. Let me find it. This is a little app that you guys might enjoy. And if you guys are list people, it's called Oola, Oola, and you can literally write your goals down. And so, having the goal of in the field, that's the other F, is your field of work. So I have my goals here for field, faith, friends, fun, getting into your finances, getting into your family. Those are the huge things. Fitness. What are your fitness goals? This, Laurie. I mean, I've lost almost 10 pounds, and because we're doing fuelings during the day, and our fuelings are a little different, and it's been something that now has given me more energy to be able to just say, okay, everything affects everything. So if any of these F words right here are out of alignment, then it's going to impact the other things. And so we've got to really go back to, the deep work of understanding what table we're at, who is at our table. The table is ever upgrading and changing because it's new mindset, it's new think. And then you're surrounded by people that are also winning in all of these areas of their life. So none of us are perfect, but we're on this journey. And so those were my big takeaways from Sharon. It was a huge thing. It was another $30,000 ticket. And I'm not saying this to just say, oh my gosh, Jana, we've got to spend $25,000 and $30,000. No, you don't. The beauty is we get to take information that we get, and then we get to bring it in with HSRA and relate it to our industry. And that's how we help build businesses and leaders, is you guys get the takeaways. You don't have to travel. You get the skin, like the cliff notes of the things that we do. And then we're like, hey guys, you need to be at this event with us. It's not a staging event. It's a real estate event because we are in real estate. So I just love it, Laurie. I love that we're all growing, and the journey's not over yet till we take our last breath.
Yes, that's so true and so good. And one thing I've learned is everyone needs a mentor. We are created in such a way that we look up to, we grow up, trees grow up and they have deep roots, but they grow up. Everything points up, right? And so I think it's so important as a business owner that you have a mentor, whether that's HSRA, whether you're following someone who's not even in our industry that mentors you, but personally and professionally. And when you do that, like I love that Sharon and her husband are you and Tim's mentors, right? That you have called that out in them, that you said, I see what you guys are doing. I know the history from what you've shared. I see the crops that you have, toiled. And so I think that you doing that inspires all of the HSRA members, all of your staff, all of your, employees at Model My Home. And it's so important to continue to grow and to sit at these tables and to listen. And most time the investment on those things are not that big, but you have to start somewhere. And so I love that you did that. I love that Sharon is our keynote speaker. She is one powerful woman. I mean, talk about someone who just enters a room and you can feel her power. And it's one of those powers that it's not like some women have like flashy power. Like there's just something, an essence about them. Some women are quiet and reserved, but you just can feel the energy coming off of them, and she's definitely that. When she walks in, she doesn't have to talk too loud like I talk. She doesn't have to do too much, but she just has so much inside of her to give back. So if you have not gotten your tickets to Summit yet, you definitely want to do that, because she will be there along with some other rock stars that we'll share. But that's so good. So to wrap this up for today, getting at the right table, sitting at the right tables, let's break it down into two categories. One, newbie stager, new business owner, what tables do they need to be at? And two, your six-figure staging businesses, what tables do they need to be at?
Yes. So just starting off, definitely, getting that training underneath you, getting in rooms with people that it's kind of a Paul and Timothy thing. You don't want to just hang around people that are at your same level. Go up a level. So we love to say phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 businesses. If you can think about our industry as a phase 1 business is a business that is run by the business owner. They're really doing everything. They want to start looking at phase 2 businesses. Phase 2 businesses start having teams. They start breaking down their departments. They start now, the business owner moves from being out in the field to in the office and running teams and managing and training and trusting their team to do it. It's one person, many hands, many feet. They can do more when they grow. So as a newbie staging business, you've got to surround yourself with people that are growing teams. And we have plenty of those within our HSRE organization. We have companies from East Coast, West Coast, Europe, Canada that have solo and that are growing into teams. So getting those modules, getting resources, hanging around people, asking questions so you can learn before you make the mistake, that's going to save you time and money. Now, if you are a phase 2 business owner, which is you have a team, you've hit 6 figures, usually a phase 1 business owner caps out. They might blink on 6 figures if they're a traditional staging company, meaning that they've got, multiple jobs, are not really doing a ton of luxury. So now you're hitting 6 figures when you start going into growing teams. Then you can hit 7 figures as teams. And then you really want to focus on the businesses that are running without the business owner. So that again is new information, new levels, new devils. You're going to have new situations that you have to deal with. And so for us, we're a business that runs without the business owner. There's several of us that can travel, and the team still works, and the team still, and this is not like, oh, I'm gone for 3 days. Like, we're gone for weeks and months, and we might call in and see what's going on. But it's one of those things where you've got to understand how to create a business that runs without you. So all of those answers can be found in HSRA when it comes to who are the successful businesses that are doing it right. We're not all perfect, but we at least have those systems and processes that move us from a phase 1 to a phase 2 to a phase 3.
Awesome. Well, we want everyone to know here that you always have a seat at our table. Our table is always open. We want to get to know you. We want to learn about your business. We want to know how we can help your business grow. And that's why we do have myhsra.com posted up here. But we also have a special message coming up as we bring this show to a close today. Thank you, Jana, for all of your wisdom. Thank you for going and sitting at tables that maybe you were a little intimidated by so that you could learn and share with our staging industry. So we'll see you back here next week, but don't go yet. We have a special message.
Starting a home staging business can be tough, but the good news is we're here to help. That's why we've created the Business Bundle Workshop. It's actually a 4-part mastermind series that's going to address any of the challenges with the 4 main departments in your staging business. It's marketing, sales, services, and logistics. If you're looking to start a business or maximize the growth of your business, this is where you need to be. Register now and join us for this 4 mastermind series. We're going to help you pinpoint the challenges and optimize your growth. Get your ticket today.